Check, check, 1, 2, radio check. Still on. On the box to the corner, lane up through the triangle. Not sure why we did that, I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody get to the bottom. Maybe we should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Get out of the gas, slow down. Somebody split up right in front of me. Come on, come on, come on.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs to the line. It's Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland is Garland leading the way. Show these drivers how to get it done. As the Mexico. Ready to rock and roll. We get ready to party here this evening as drivers. We're going to get lined up here on the front straightaway. Qualifying has come to a close, so that means it is time to rock and roll here this evening from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. As each and every one of these drivers looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane as they get loaded into the sim, they'll be looking for the win here in this one. As each and every one of these drivers ready to battle, ready to duke it out here in this one as the crew chief breakdown here this evening for the Coats Disease Awareness here today. From Loudon, New Hampshire, the track is just over 1 mile long. Pit road speed down to 45 miles an hour. Stages will be at the completion of lap number 40 and lap number 80. Fuel distance about 45-50 laps, so drivers should be able to make it from stage to stage, but that third stage being a little bit longer, man, could definitely bring in the opportunity for green flag pit stops here this evening. They have 3 sets of tires back behind pit wall. They have only 1 quick repair in their back pocket, so you want to be clean. You want to keep yourself out of trouble here this evening. As each and every one of these drivers will get loaded into the sim, they'll all be looking for the win here in this one as we'll get them locked and loaded, ready to roll, ready to rumble here today. And starting on the pole is going to be the number 76 of Caleb McKinney. McKinney will start in that top spot. To his outside in the 9 ride, it's Tyler Humphrey. Starting in position number 3 will be the 99 of Chris Muse. To his outside will be that number 12, right of Josh Bromfield. There's Muse loaded into the sim. Bromfield will start there in 4th with Dom Salvo back there in position number 5. Cameron Combs will start in 6th. And to start this race, he does have a black flag on him, so we'll have to take a look at our penalty report and see what that black flag is for the 15 ride. As we see Rob Tuiscu starting there in 7th, Edward Blair to his outside in the 8th position. The 3 of Al Reed will start in 9th to his outside in the number 7 ride. That is Devin Black rounding out our top 10. Killingbeck, Kurt Sponsler, Johnny Thunders, Anthony Garland, Wayne Garland, James Garland, Luke Wagner, Billy Jordan, Corey Crowell, Brandon Puffenbarger, Grant Humphrey, Gary Wright, Tony Noble, Casey Gross, and Nicholas Barton going to round out our field. Looks like Grant Humphrey also with the black flag here. Let's take a look at our penalty report here real quick and take a look and see what some of these penalties are for these drivers. So, Chad Lancaster, 32nd black flag hold in the pit. Same with Cameron Combs and Grant Humphrey. So that's why we see Combs and Humphrey both with the black flags here as early on in this race. They're going to have to go down pit road, have that 32nd hold, and unfortunately here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, that is an opportunity to lose a lap in a quick hurry. They should probably go a lap down here early on in this race. So early caution flags could be their saving graces. Here we go, ending all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It's Caleb McKinney and the number 9 rider Tyler Humphrey, door to doors, the must-love Poodles, and that 76 ride battle down into corner number 3. Looks like the body armor Ryan going to be able to shoot it deep down low, slide up in front of the 9 ride, but the crossover as an early caution flag will fly. So the caution flag will be displayed here in this one. Yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag early on here today as it looks like Devin Black going to run into some issues. 10th car right there on the speedway to start this feature event, and unfortunately for Devin Black, this is going to go the wrong way here for him. Let's take a look back at it, see if there's any earlier contact. Looks like he's nice and easy down into corner number 3 here, and it just looks like he gets onto the binders, loses the rear end, overcorrects it up into the outside fence. Johnny Thunder is going to end up getting a piece of him there, so the Quantum Motorsports ride ends up getting into that beautiful Kenworth machine as the 7 gets turned around. And unfortunately here, lap number 1, obviously driver still trying to get the handle of this racetrack, man. There's obviously a lot of drivers that are trying to keep themselves, under control, trying to hit their marks, and sometimes you just get in there a little too hot, a little too heavy, get onto those binders too quick, you lose that rear end, and unfortunately they are the magic mile here this evening. Not so magical early on for that 7 ride of Devin Black. As Black is going to come down pit road, he will look to get his car repaired. As we do see Brandon Puffenbarger also coming down pit road. Cameron Combs, he's coming down pit side. Same with that number 6 of Rob Tuiscu. Now, I do see the black flag still on Grant Humphrey. Black flag still on Cameron Combs as well, so they will have to come back down pit road. And now we do see a black flag also on the 7 ride of Devin Black, so Black may have gotten a penalty down pit side here, coming down pit road for that 7 ride. You do see Tuiscu down pit road, he's a-okay, he's able to get back out there. Some drivers already trying to, give up some track position for that extra little bit of fuel here this evening. Could go a mile, could go a long distance here, having that extra couple laps of fuel into your tank. As Jen says go Chris, number 99, cheering on Chris Muse here this evening, says win for Miley, Miley their dog. I know Chris messaged me, I did see that a few weeks ago. Miley, their dog, unfortunately got diagnosed, I do believe, with cancer, if I'm not wrong here. Let me double check and see if I can find that. Where did Muse message me? Not sure if it's here or if it's somewhere else. That. Man, well, I want to make sure I got that right. I don't know where in the world that message is. Is it on Discord, Peacemaker Gaming, or is it on the other one, the Monk personal profile? Not too sure, chat, not too sure. But anyways, we're going to get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing as Mew's going to try to win it for Miley here this evening, as we'll get them all locked and loaded, ready to rumble here as Caleb McKinney out in front still has that race lead, but Tyler Humphrey did a great job sticking right there with him. We'll see if Humphrey can do the same thing, except for this time, doesn't look like the best restart there for that 9 ride. So for Tyler Humphrey, looks like he'll be about half a car length back of the 76, and for Caleb McKinney, That should give him enough room to clear him down and out at corner number 2. So for McKinney, has that race lead, will take us back down the back straightaways. Everyone hoping to try to make some good clean laps here. Obviously, everyone's trying to get some laps down, trying to put together a good race here this evening. As you see Muse back there in 3rd, Dom Salvo there in 4th. Al Reed rounding out our top 5 as we do see those black flags being served, as we see Grant Humphrey and Cameron Combs both heading down pit side. And this is what we talked about early on here in this one, is obviously these black flags, the 30-second holds for both of these drivers, for Cameron Combs and Grant Humphrey. This is going to be tough for them because our race leaders are already down into corner number 3. They're nice and easy out of corner number 4 and down across the line here with them still being held down pit side. They are going to fall a lap down early in this race. They're still serving their holds here, so they're still waiting to get released, still waiting to try to get back out there. If that hold is longer, it may potentially keep them back here in long enough that they may fall 2 laps down, as our race leaders are now heading back down into 3. We do see Grant Humphrey finally being released. He's finally able to get rolling here, but still down pit road, 45 miles an hour. But there is a caution flag, and that could be a big break for them. As the pace car does get out in front of them here, we'll have to wait and see where that will score them. But the caution flag does come back out for the 2nd time here this evening, as it looks like Billy Jordan and Rob Tuwiscu going to get tied up here in this one. Let's take a look at it. So Billy Jordan in the 14 ride. Down low, just loses the rear end right here. Car goes around, washes up the racetrack, and then ends up clipping the RT3 Designs ride of Al Reed right there. So for Billy Jordan, just looking to have a good run, a solid day at the Speedway. Sends it down into corner number 3 here. Just loses that rear end all by himself. Goes around as he's trying to get this thing rolling. Right there's that contact with Rob Tuwiscu. Luckily enough, looks like Tuwiscu able to get checked up before making heavy damage with the outside fence. So hopefully not too much contact or damage there for the 6 machine. Let's take a look at it. Here we go. He tried to cut down low underneath him. You see the 14 rolling back up to the inside of the racetrack right there. And that's where he ends up clipping that right rear of the Elite Sim Racing ride. And unfortunately for Tuwiscu, goes around. Look at the poor boy Motorsports number 8 ride. Has to lock it down right there. Luckily enough, just avoids running into Tuwiscu. So great piece of driving there by Luke Wagner, keeping himself out of trouble. As here we go, we'll get them all stacked up, we'll get them racked up, and I'll see driver's going to take opportunities, come back down pit road. So for Johnny Thunders, he's down here, he's looking to get some damage repaired and trying to get back out there. We did see Puffenbarger and Devin Black down pit side on lap number 2. Tuwiscu was down pit road, getting that car cleaned up, getting it fixed up there, any little damage that he may have gotten. Now the big question is for Cameron Combs, Grant Humphrey, where does that put them? I do believe they are still scored as a lap down out on the racetrack, and I'm not sure if they're going to be in that free pass position or not. Johnny Thunders looks to be the last car on the lead lap. Rob Tuwiscu does look to be a lap down, so for Tuwiscu, maybe potentially in that lucky dog position. Billy Jordan still down pit road. We saw him tow that car right off of the racetrack as soon as he went around, made contact with the 6 ride. So we'll have to wait and see as all these drivers are going to get stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing, and it doesn't look like we're going to get any waiver rounds here. So no waiver rounds, no lucky dogs, so a tough break there. Obviously for Tuwiscu, Cameron Combs, and Grant Humphrey, they're all going to be looking to battle for that lucky dog position, trying to get themselves back into the battle here today. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to battle here after a couple early caution flags here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, man. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button here this evening. Make sure you guys hit that sub button, become part of the Peacemaker family. As here we go, back down through the Echo Park restart zone. Green flag back out into the air for the body armor number 76 of Caleb McKinney. Tyler Humphrey quickly jumps down to the inside lane, looking for a big run, trying to get back to the rear bumper here of our race leader, but it's going to open up the doors. Now there's contact between Humphrey and Muse. Muse bounces it off the wall. Looks like all 4 corners are going to stay up, though. No issues as he sends it back down down into corner number 3 and 4. But Muse had a great restart there, had a good look to the outside, almost able to take that second spot away from Humphrey until that contact. As Dom Salvo will stay there in 4th with Al Reed back in that 5th position, as we do see Corey Crowell running into problems here. Let's take a look back, see what happens to Corey Crowell as the 2 ride battling door to door. Looks like he's just going to lose that rear end himself. Rear end goes around. He goes down through the grass right here. Does come to a stop, but off the racing surface, so no caution flag as he gets rolling, gets back out onto the racing surface here. It's a tough break there for Corey Crowell. Going to lose a lot of ground out there on the speedway. But for the 2 ride, he's able to keep himself right in this battle as Caleb McKinney in the top spot, continue to lead the way. Tyler Humphrey there in second with Chris Muse running out our top 3 as the Coats. Disease Awareness 240 already putting together a bit of a crazy show as we see our second or third caution flag of the day. So it looks like Devin Black going to run into more issues. Another really heavy hit here for that 7 ride. Obviously struggling early on this evening. We saw that spin on lap number 1. Still had that front end damage. Was getting that repaired through the first and second caution, but then, oh, it's right there in front of him. It's actually the 8 ride of Luke Wagner. Man, this is a big slide for Wagner. I don't know what he may have made contact with, but for Luke Wagner in the Poor Boy Motorsports Peacemaker Gaming number 8 ride just loses the rear end right here. Car steps out and around on him. As that happens, he slides up the racetrack. No forward momentum in the 7 of Devin Black. Just going to get in here, going to get a big piece of that rear end. And as you watch this beautiful, beautiful paint scheme car, man, the Texas ride right here, bam, right into that rear end of the 8 ride, shoots him up the racetrack, hard contact into the outside fence. Big hit there for Devin Black, man. That's a lot of damage here early on for the 7 machine. He may have to use that quick repair up to try to get this thing at least back into somewhat decent condition here, as he'll come down pit road. We'll see if he ends up using that quick repair or if he'll just kind of keep on rolling here and see if he can just try to get that slowly repaired, save that quick repair for later in this race. And I do believe Lucky Dog going to the 15 ride. Great break right there for Cameron Combs. Combs was able to get past Tuwiscu and Grant Humphrey to put himself into the Lucky Dog position. So for Cameron Combs, back onto the lead lap, and for the 15 ride, right back into the action, right back into the battle here in this one. Early in the race, that penalty gonna step aside here for him, and now he's just gonna make up that track position, get himself back into the battle here today. As we do see Johnny Thunders obviously again down pit road, getting this 60 ride repaired. Luke Wagner was down pit road. He's gonna roll back out here as still has a little bit of that rear end damage, not much though, as we did see Devin Black. He was able to use that quick repair, so the crew going to work. They get that car completely fixed up, and he is back into the battle here this evening. But for that 67 ride, he's going to obviously have to try to keep himself clean for the rest of this race. One more big hit like that could end his night here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. As we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to battle here in this one as the Land & Sea NSB Outcast Racing League ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here in this one. Who will get it done? Who will find their way up and into the winner's circle here this evening as the Coats Disease Awareness Race ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out once again here in this one as Tyler Humphrey, Caleb McKinney, 1 and 2 on the racetrack, down through the Echo Park restart zone once again as the pace car will make that hard left-hand turn. They will be unleashed as the restart being controlled by the outside car, the 76 of Caleb McKinney, who's our race leader, and again gets another great restart, another great jump right there for that 76. Quickly clears the 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. Now Dom Salvo working to the outside of that 9 ride as they are door to door for position position number 2 here on the racetrack. So they battle side by side for Caleb McKinney. That's exactly what he likes to see. Is now look out, Chris Muse going for a slide himself. He's going to get some contact into that outside fence. Drivers got to be careful. They got to be cautious, man. This is a very, very slick racetrack. One slide, one slip up. We've seen it already take a few drivers and put them into very tough positions here in this feature event. So you got to be very cautious about where you're rolling out there on the racetrack and trying to keep your car alive here till late in this race. You cannot have an opportunity to potentially eliminate yourself from this feature event before we even get done our first couple stages of the day, as Caleb McKinney continues to lead this race. Tyler Humphrey right there in second with Dom Salvo in third. Al Reed into position number 4. He'll continue to look for more as James Garland rolls back there in that 5th position. As the Outlaw Ride, the Outlaw Diff Machine rolls there in that 5th position, man. Great run going here for James Garland. Heck of a drive early on. Same with Anthony Garland right there in 6th. Kurt Sponsler back in 7th. Chris Muse, who we saw just go for that slide, able to make another pass and put himself now back into the 8th spot on the Speedways. Edward Belair and Mike Killingback round out our top 10. Wayne Garland there in 11th with Casey Gross in position number 12, but Casey looking to try to work his way up into the top 11 now as he'll make that pass on the 84 of Wayne Garland as Josh Bromfield in the Outcast Racing League, Poor Boy Motorsports number 12 ride, sits back in the 13th position. Gary Wright there in 14th with Corey Crowell, Devin Black and Nicholas Barton. Cameron Combs there in 18th. Now going to work his way into 17th as he makes the pass on Barton right there. Luke Wagner back in 19th. Brandon Puffenbarger in position number 20 with Johnny Thunders, Tony Noble, Rob Tuiscu, Grant Humphrey, and Billy Jordan going to round out our top 25 here this evening as we do see one driver down on the apron here. No caution flag. It stays clean and green. No yellow flag till now. There is the caution flag as it looks like potentially James Garland, Edward Belair, a bunch of drivers having issues down and out at corner number 2 here. Take a look. James Garland up inside the top 5, and he's going to bounce it off the fence right there. Loses the handle, back up into the wall. Shoots down the racetrack, and as he shoots back down the speedway, man, that's a big hit for Edward Belair. Trying to mind his P's and Q's, the 37. Makes that mistake right there, coming back down the racetrack. Nowhere to go for the 25. Then he goes around, and as some drivers are starting to check up, some drivers are trying to keep themselves out of trouble, we're going to end up seeing, I believe it's Wayne Garland in the 7 ride right here. They get tied together. Wayne's rolling out of it. Sees all the contact here in front of him. 7 right of Devin Black. Not as quick to get on to the brake pedals right there. And unfortunately, that's going to spin Wayne Garland around as well. Pointed the wrong direction. And that's where we'll see that caution flag fly. So, a few drivers running into issues. James Garland down pit road. Extensive damage being repaired here for that 37. Same with Edward Belair. We'll see if he has to use the quick repair early on today to get this thing fixed up. And there it is. Quick repair down for the 25 ride. He'll roll back out onto the racetrack, so he should stay on the lead lap, and getting back onto the lead lap will be this number 6 ride. So for Rob Tuiscu, he's going to get the lucky dog as well. That will put him back onto the lead lap here this evening as we do see Puffenbarger, Johnny Thunders, Wayne Garland, Billy Jordan, all coming down pit road right here. Obviously all looking to try to get some repairs or some new tires or just trying to play some of that fuel strategy here in this feature event. Is already 23 laps completed. We're inching closer and closer to the end of stage number 1 here this evening. Stage number 1 coming up in a quick hurry as taking a look at the real life NASCAR race right now. Hamlin currently leading all of the championship 4 here, but he's got Byron and Larson right there on him. It seemed like Byron had the better long run car. Hamlin seemed to fire off really nicely, able to gain some spots there, especially on those restarts. And for Hamlin, he sits in 2nd, Byron right in 3rd. Byron, I do believe, won the first stage there at Phoenix Raceway here this evening for that championship race. Larson back in fourth has kind of just been chilling there throughout this one. It's been third, fourth here for most of this race. Briscoe had to start a little deeper in the pack. He's been slowly but surely racing his way up towards the front. He's been working his way up there, sits in seventh. So right now, all four of the championship four inside the top 10, all inside the top 7 right now this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up and ready to rock and roll here, not only in the real NASCAR race, but also here in this feature event for the Outcast Racing League is the Coats Disease Awareness Ride. Ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Who are you guys cheering for? Who do you guys want to see up in victory lane here this evening for this championship race? Because obviously there's a lot of drivers that want to try and put themselves up in the winner's circle here in this one. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be able to get it done here today. Alrighty, as we get them all ready to rumble, ready to go to battle here in this one. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be very, very interesting to see who can try to pick up the win. As here we go, back to green flag racing here this evening. Is out in front. The 76 does get another great launch, another great restart. But as soon as the green flag came back out, caution flag will follow. Let's take a look at it. It looked like Nicholas Barton, Grant Humphrey, bunch of drivers back here getting tied up in this one. Let's take a look here. Things kind of stack up on the inside lane, and then everyone just kind of piles in there. That's exactly what happens. So the inside lane here, I'm not sure where this log jam gets started, but unfortunately for a bunch of these drivers up towards the front, you see Muse into the back of the 81, 77 in the back of the 99, and then it's just this chain reaction. 22 gets into the back end of the 7 ride as he's getting stacked up. You see the 32 trying to get checked up here. Unfortunately, he's going to get ran into by the 84 ride, and then they're all just going to continue to pile into this one, man. As you see Tony Noble, obviously Barton turned around, Wayne Garland turned around, Grant Humphrey tied up in it, James Garland just trying to get checked up, trying to keep himself out of it, and unfortunately quite a few hits right there, quite a few good pieces of damage for these drivers, and unfortunately for Grant Humphrey, he was in line for the lucky dog right there. Could have been able to get back onto the lead lap, but I do believe being a part of that yellow flag may not get the lucky dog here in this one. As a quick caution flag, we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here once again. As we'll get a quick word in here and quick look here at the Outcast Racing League intro.
Radio check, 1, 2, radio check. Still.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs are looking way. It's Kurt Sponsler. Right, here we go. Back to green flag racing as the green flag back out into the air for Caleb McKinney. McKinney with another great restart. Quickly getting back onto the lap pedal, looking to try to open up a big lead here this evening as he's been just picking them off here, man. Leading these laps, waiting for these caution flags, binding and minding his business and trying to keep this track position as he's been hitting his marks, been doing a great job on these restarts. And down and out of corner number 4 and back down across the start-finish line, he will complete lap number 30 here this evening. So 10 laps left to go here in this stage. 10 laps left to go, 30 laps into stage number 1 here this evening. So for Tyler Humphrey, you got 10 laps left and potential caution flags around the corner to try to jump up here and steal the stage win away from Caleb McKinney. Dom Salvo right there in third with Anthony Garland and Chris Muse rounding out our top 5. So good rebound here for Muse back inside the top 5. Out there on the racetrack is Kurt Sponsler. Casey Gross, who unfortunately missed the start of this race, was supposed to start up in the 12th position. Basically had to start down pit road here this evening, and for the 77, he's battled his way back into this one, man, and looking to try to take over that 6th position from Kurt Sponsler. As they battle door to door down the back straightaway, you see Cameron Combs, who had to serve that black flag penalty early on in this race, win a lap down, got the lucky dog. Here's Cameron Combs back inside the top 10. He's battling up into the 8th position as Al Reed right there in 9th, and Mike Killingback going to round out our top 10. Corey Crowell, Josh Bromfield, Luke Wagner. Then we see Rob Tuwisky and Edward Belair battling here for 14th and 15th on the racetrack. Wayne Garland, Gary Wright, Nicholas Barton, Brandon Puffenbarger, Johnny Thunders, our top 20 out there on the Speedway with Devin Black in 21st. Grant Humphrey back in 22nd. He's still in that free pass position, hoping to get another caution flag, or at least seeing that stage break happen here so he can get back onto the lead lap. As Billy Jordan back in 23rd. Tony Noble in 24th with James Garland back in that 25th position here this evening. As Caleb McKinney, though, McKinney has the race lead. He's out in front, and he's looking to try to run away here with this stage as he continues to have that race lead, continues to just hit his marks here, and looking to continue to click these laps off here as now we start to get into a bit of a longer run, or at least the longest run we've kind of seen here in this feature event. So for these drivers, man, they are doing everything they can to try to keep themselves in the winning situation here this evening, as each and every one of them hoping to try to pick up a win, or at least get some good points here throughout these stages, and trying to put themselves into a position that they can hopefully just have a good run and a solid drive, a solid performance out there on the racetrack. As each and every one of them trying to win this race. Obviously, every one of them still has the points in the back of their mind as the regular season quickly coming to a close here, and for the points, they continue to get tighter and tighter for all these drivers, and as those points do get tightened up, man, things are going to get very, very tough for all these cats out there on the racetrack. For everybody, it's going to get very, very tough. You're going to have to try to mind your P's and Q's, not run into any issues, not run into any problems here, and not put yourself into a position where, you know, you end up making a mistake, you end up running into a problem and missing your chance to battle for this championship. As right now, Caleb McKinney does have the championship lead and sits out front leading this race. Cameron Combs second in the championship hunt here, came in 10 points back of Caleb McKinney for the points lead. Grant Humphrey, Albert Reed, and then we see Mike Killingback, Corey Crowell, Chad Lancaster, Johnny Thunders, and Tyler Humphrey, our top 10 here in the point standings coming into today's feature event after Kentucky Speedway last week. So for all these drivers, they're trying to do everything they can to keep themselves in the hunt here for this championship, as Tyler Humphrey sits right there in second. Dom Salvo back in third. Anthony Garland in position number 4. Heck of a run brewing here for Anthony Garland, but you take a look right there at Cameron Combs. Combs right back into this battle here as he has ranked his way back up to the front here. And early on in stage number 1, man, it didn't look like it was going to go his way, but with all these caution flags and opportunities to get all the field kind of stacked back up, Cameron Combs goes from being a lap down to back on the lead lap, but now bounces it off the outside fence. So he's going to give that 4th position right back to Anthony Garland, and you're going to see Chris Muse get around him. Now here comes the 77 to Casey Gross, and unfortunately that was a big mistake for that 15 run. Could have been a lot of front end damage here for that 15 machine. We'll have to wait and see what happens here for Cameron Combs and how this gets played out for that number 15 ride, as obviously now back into the 7th position. Al Reed back there in 8th. Sponsler and Killingbeck. Is this the final lap of stage number 1? Is nice and easy down through corner number 3 and out of 4 for the 76. Our points leader coming into this race, it's Caleb McKinney, who will win stage number 1 here this evening. So the stage 1 win goes to Caleb McKinney. Tyler Humphrey will come home in second with Dom Salvo, Anthony Garland, Chris Muse, our top 5 here in the first stage of the evening, man. What a run, what a drive there for Caleb McKinney, Tyler Humphrey, man. These guys put together a great run there at the front of the field. Dom Salvo doing a great job as well, just trying to keep yourself out of trouble, trying to keep yourself from a mistake-free race, and they're able to be paid off there in that first stage. Anthony Garland, man, hell of a run up and into 4th. The Muse battling back for a top 5 run here in that stage. Casey Gross, Cameron Combs, Al Reed, Kurt Sponsler, and Mike Killingbeck will round out our top 10. His drivers will get an opportunity to head down pit road. Get a pit stop in here, maybe fuel, maybe tires. They'll have to wait and figure out what they need here to try to put themselves back into this battle here today. As for Caleb McKinney, he's out in front, man. He is ready to rumble. He is ready to duke it out here in this one. So for Caleb McKinney, can he hold on, keep these guys back at bay, and try and pick up a big win here this evening to stretch out his points lead? Now normally we do have some of the point stuff. I know it usually goes into media social area, maybe. Those are older, so I can't use those. Alrighty, so we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as everyone does come down pit side. We do see Rob Tuwisku and Wayne Garland elect to stay out here. So 2 drivers stay out. They do not come down pit road. For Tyler Humphrey, looks like he's going to win that race off of pit road. For Casey Gross, he'll come out in 4th. Anthony Garland there in 5th with Dom Salvo. Cameron Combs, Chris Muse. Caleb McKinney falls all the way back to 9th here. Ooh, man, this is tough. Let's take a look here. So I do believe for, yeah, you're going to see the 76 as he comes down pit road. The crew's going to go to work. Looks like 4 tires going on to the 76 ride. You take a look at Tyler Humphrey right behind him. Humphrey does not get tires. Either does Casey Gross, and it looks like a really short stop here for Casey Gross. I'm not sure if Casey really got enough pit stop in here for the 77 ride. He may have even just missed his pit stall altogether. Comes down pit road, and I do believe, yeah, he's in the wrong pit stall here. So for Casey Gross, wrong pit stall. That is a big mistake for the 77 ride, as he's going to lose a ton of track position. Has to come back down pit road. Has to make an additional pit stop. And for the 77, he is now back here in position number 18. He'll be at the rear of the field here for this restart. So a tough break there. As out in front, it's Rob Tuwisku and Wayne Garland, who now have the race lead. So for these 2 drivers, they have the top spot. They have the control of this restart. Humphrey back there in 3rd. Anthony Garland there in 4th. Dom Salvo, Cameron Combs, and then you see Chris Muse and Caleb McKinney scored back in 8th. So our stage 1 winner, 4 fresh tires on that 76 ride. He's back in that 8th position. We'll have to wait and see if he can work his way through the traffic, as here we go. Rob Tuwisku sees that green flag fly down through the Echo Park Speedway restart zone and gets a great restart right there. Able to jump out in front, looking to keep these guys back at bay as Tyler Humphrey will jump into 2nd. Wayne Garland there in 3rd. Looks like Anthony Garland trying to keep himself right here in the mix, as we do see the caution flag fly. Caution flag will come right back out here in this one, as it looks like Mike Killingbeck 10th place there at the stage break, and it looks like for the 70 ride, maybe just a little too hard. Back onto the throttle here as, yeah, there we go. Back onto the throttle, a little too hard, loses that rear end, starts to go around. He's got it locked down here, and Luke Wagner not expecting it, can't get onto the binders quick enough, gets into the back end, helps that 70 ride around, and that will put us right back under the caution flag, as you will see Barton get a little piece of him there as well. Billy Jordan, all these drivers trying to avoid him, trying to keep himself out of trouble. There's Puffin Parker just able to keep himself out of that chaos there and keep himself alive here this evening as Killingbeck goes around. Caution flag will come out, and that will size us up for another restart here, as this is going to be another 40-lap shootout, but with the caution flag laps there before the restart. Now another restart on the horizon here. The laps are once again getting clicked down during the yellow flag here for the Outcast Racing League, and for stage number 2, that's going to make things that much shorter, that much smaller here. So for all these drivers, a lot less time to try to figure out a way to get to the front or try to rebound here or make some strategy to work yourself up here into the top spot here in this one. As you do see Billy Jordan, he's going to get the wave around. He will get back onto the lead lap here in this one as, oh man, Chase Briscoe. Oh man, is Briscoe got a flat tire? He does have a big flat tire right here for Chase Briscoe, man. This is going to potentially hurt his chances here for the championship in the real-life NASCAR race. Big hit right there for Chase Briscoe. As Briscoe, that's not the way you want things to go here for your championship. That's going to keep him back there deep in the field, and hopefully not too much damage there. We saw the debris flying off that car. Hopefully the damage isn't too much here for Chase Briscoe, and hopefully he can get back on the lead lap here. Hopefully he doesn't go a lap down. It's going to be tough. They are having a slow time trying to get that second set of tires on. He's finally able to be released here. Not sure if he's going to stay on the lead lap or not, though, but man, that was a absolutely shredded up tire there for Chase Briscoe, and we just saw Bubba Wallace with issues as well. So for some of the Toyotas, man, definitely running into some problems here. This could be major for these drivers if this is the case, if there is some big tire concerns or potentially some other mechanical issues going wrong here for the Toyotas, for Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe. Could be bad news for them for this championship, as here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here at New Hampshire Motor Speedways. The Outcast Racing League ready to go back to battle here in this one, as the Coates Disease Awareness 240 about to see the green flag fly once again here this evening, as Tyler Humphrey in the 6th rider Rob Tuwisku will see that green flag fly, and for Tuwisku gets the launch, gets the jump that he was looking for, and for the 6 machine, great restart once again, looking to try to keep these guys back there at bay. A driver we got to keep an eye on, though, was our stage 1 winner, the 76 of Caleb McKinney. We saw him trying to make some big moves there, and now here he goes to the outside. Big run to the outside of Dom Salvo, looking to at least pick up another spot, looking to size himself up here for another position or two down the front straightaways. He'll look to the inside of the 84 of Wayne Garland, as everyone battling hard here in this one. And for the 76, he's probably got the best tires here at the front of the field, and he's hoping to use them to his advantage to try and put himself back up and into the winner's circle here and trying to win stage number 2 here this evening. As Rob Tuwisku, though, out in front, Tyler Humphrey sits in 2nd. Chris Muse back in 3rd, but you do see that 76 just hooked up down low, able to make some big moves, and there we go. Caution flag will come back. It will have to wait and see where iRacing scores these guys, as the caution flag does fly once again here this evening, as Al Reed, looks like Reed and James Garland going to get tied up here. Let's take a look here. Al Reed, the man from Ireland, looks like he may get a little help here. James Garland may get into the back end here of the 3 ride right there. There it is. Gives him a shot into the shorts, gets the rear end kicked out, and unfortunately the 3 ride finally goes around. You see James Garland getting stopped there as he made the contact, helped the 3 ride go around. I'm sure Al may be giving him some friendly gestures there out of the driver's window right there, as he got a good look there, and obviously knew that 76 gave him that shot in the shorts to get him turned around, so the caution flag does fly once again. So another caution flag out there on the speedway as lap number 51 will be completed. We do see Rob Tuwiscu, Cameron Combs, they head down pit road. So for some of the elite sim racing rides, playing some strategy here in this one. We do see Killingback, Grant Humphrey, Johnny Thunders, Gary Wright, Al Reed all coming down pit road as well. I do believe Tony Noble will get the wave around here. He will get a lap back. So he goes from 2 laps down now to 1 lap down here on the evening as 23 drivers still on the lead lap. Only 2 drivers down laps here this evening, and that is Tony Noble and James Garland, as they are the 2 drivers a lap down out there on the speedway. So we'll get them all stacked up and ready to try this one over again as we are 1/3 of the way through this race. 50 laps over. Only just under 100 laps left to go here in this feature event, as this could get interesting. This could get a little bit wild here in this one, because all these drivers, man, they just trying to keep themselves in the battle, trying to keep themselves out of trouble. It's easier said than done, man. One mistake, one slip up could send you backwards, could put you into a very, very difficult position late in this race, especially after this second stage. If you run into problems there in that third stage, there's no, extra yellow flag. There's no extra opportunity to try to get yourself back in to the action here this evening, as this has been probably one of the toughest racetracks really on the schedule, man. This track, Martinsville, obviously Pocono, we had huge issues there at Pocono. It's another track that seems to have obviously some issues. And here tonight, already our 8th caution flag, 1/3 of the way through this event, and we'll have to wait and see if things can kind of get a little bit more cleaner, if we can get a little bit more green flag laps under the belt here for these drivers, as everyone will get ready to duke it out. Everyone will get ready to go back to battle, as here we go down through the Echo Park restart zone. It's Tyler Humphrey with the race lead. He gets a great launch, a great restart, and for the 9 ride, able to get a good restart right there, able to give himself that race lead. But how long can he hold off the fresh tires back here behind him as the 76 looking to hunt him down? But the caution flag will come right back out, so the yellow flag displayed here again. So cautions breeding cautions. This time it is the 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs going to send it in at corner number 1. They're starting to stack up a little bit in front of him. He's getting a little bit loose, trying to get this thing checked up, trying to avoid running into any of these drivers here in front of him, and unfortunately just gets in a little too hot. Maybe stabs the brakes a little bit too hard. And for the 15 ride, you see that wiggle. Now he's trying to correct it. The car just washes up the racetrack sideways here, trying to keep himself out of the fence. Unfortunately, a little too late, as he does bounce it up and off the outside fence here into corner number 1. And as he noses it in there and comes to a rest, that will bring the caution flag right back out. So caution flag number 9 here early on this evening. 9 caution flags, 9 issues in a lot of tore-up race cars. So another restart on the horizon for these drivers. We'll get a quick break in here. We'll get a quick break in the action as Must Love Poodle says, come on, Humphrey. And Humphrey says, enjoy that clean air, Tyler. Cheering on Mr. Tyler Humphrey and the Must Love Poodles ride out in front, leading the way.
Radio check. Still. Lane up through the trial zone. Not sure why they did that. I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody to get to the bottom. Maybe we should just run all out and wait until after the fourth pit.
number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs trying to line way. It's Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland and James Garland leading the way, show these drivers how to get it done. Alrighty, here we go. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening as the green flag quickly back out into the air here for the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey. So Humphrey has that race lead, looking to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay as the 9 ride out in front, controlling this race. Now he does have older tires here. He did not take tires during that first stage break for Caleb McKinney. He did throw a set of 4 tires on. So this is old tires versus new tires here at the front of the field, and for right now it looks like the clean air for Tyler Humphrey paying dividends for that number 9 ride as Anthony Garland battling his way, trying to duke it out here with Chris Muse for position number 3 on the Speedway. Muse looking to try to slide up in front of him, looking to take it away from Anthony Garland. Looks like Muse will stay there in 3rd as Anthony falls back into position number 4. Edward Belair there in 5th with Wayne Garland in that 6th position. Then we see Tom Salvo back there in 7th. Josh Bromfield in position number 8, but Bromfield looking to try to take that spot away here from Salvo early on here this evening as Corey Crowell back there in that 9th position, and Casey Gross rounding out our top 10. We saw Casey make that mistake coming down pit road. Unfortunately missed his pit stop during that stage break. Had to make an additional pit stop, gave up all his track position, and for Casey battling his way back inside the top 10. The 49 of Kurt Sponsler right there in 11th with Devin Black, who we've seen run into a couple issues here this evening, making the pass down low. So Devin now into 11th, Sponsler back to 12th as Billy Jordan back on the lead lap. The 14 ride getting himself back into this action here with all the yellow flags. Sits in that 13th position with Barton, Brandon Puffenbarger, Al Reed there in 16th. Rob Tuisku back on the lead lap himself there in 17th with Mike Killingback, Luke Wagner, Gary Wright, Grant Humphrey, Cameron Combs, our top 22. Johnny Thunders back in 23rd. Tony Noble, who's also back on the lead lap, there in 24th. Unfortunately for James Garland, still down pit road, still potentially out of this race here this evening. Even though he is the last driver on the lead lap, he's got the opportunity to get some wave arounds and maybe get himself back into this race. If he would have stuck with it, may have gotten back into this race, but now he is about 13, 14 laps down out there on the Speedway. So I don't think he's going to get that many yellow flags, or at least hopefully not that many yellow flags, to get himself back into the battle. As Tyler Humphrey, though, continues to control this race. He's out in front as we're halfway through our 2nd stage of the day. Stage break number 2 will happen at the completion of lap number 80 here this evening. So it's 40 laps and 40 laps for these stages for Tyler Humphrey. Came home 2nd in stage number 1. Looking to come home 1st here in stage number 2 here this evening as he continues to control this race. He's out in front, 0.6 of a second between himself and Caleb McKinney, as Chris Muse right there in 3rd. Muse looking to continue to hold on to this top spot as Anthony Garland back in 4th, as we do see Edward Belair up inside the top 5 here as well. Great rebound for Belair. We saw him get tied up and end up with some big damage here in this race. He was down pit road for a while, had a lot of damage on this MMG Detroit Lions number 25 ride, and now back up inside the top 5, man. This is a hell of a run, hell of a drive here for this 25 ride, and for Casey Gross right back into it here, into that 6th position with Dom Salvo, Josh Bromfield, Corey Crowell, and Devin Black now running out our top 10 as Wayne Garland slides back now into the 11th position, but out in front it is Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey has the race lead, continue to hold down this top spot, looking to try to keep all these other drivers back there at bay as he wants to put himself up and into the winner's circle here this evening. Can he get it done? Can he find the checkered flag here this evening for that must-love Poodles 9 Machine, man? It would be another big win, another great win for this 9 Machine if he could pull it off, if he could get it done again here this evening. As man, That would be an absolutely amazing performance for Tyler Humphrey. He's missed a few races here. Has had to start in park. Unfortunately, has not had an opportunity to really run a ton of races. Really hasn't had the opportunity to put himself into a position to really click a lot of these laps off and battle for most of this season. We have seen him already pick up a window in this season for the 9 ride. Still just trying to earn some extra points, trying to put himself back onto the map here with a big run here this evening, trying to solidify himself as one of our championship hopefuls out there on the Speedway as he currently runs in position number 1 here this evening. As the laps continue to get clicked down, you do see that number 76 of Caleb McKinney trying to reel him back in here. I thought the fresher tires would put up a bit more of a fight here, but for McKinney, kind of stuck back there in that second spot, but he is trying to reel him in, is trying to put the pressure onto the back bumper of this 9 ride. Maybe just trying to sit back and relax, maybe trying to save some of his tires here for a little bit later on in this race, trying to see if he can wait patiently here, make sure he hits his marks, doesn't make any mistakes, and then trying to steal the stage win away in the closing 10 laps here to maybe try to flip this stage as well, maybe trying to make no tires here at the end of this stage, as now he's obviously on a different tire strategy than Tyler Humphrey, so he's gonna have to try to balance these tires back out. But honestly, with 3 sets of tires back there behind pit wall and tires really not looking that important here, it could get very, very interesting. Obviously in this one, as if the tires can pay off, if tires can be good here, or the 76 run for all these other drivers potentially not having to make those tires work and having to use an extra set late in this race will be paying dividends. So we'll have to wait and see as Tyler Humphrey continues to lead the way down across the line. We'll complete lap number 70 here, so 10 laps left to go here in this stage. So 10 laps left in stage number 2 as Caleb McKinney there in second. Chris Muse in position number 3. Anthony Garland back in 4th. Casey Gross rounding out our top 5 with Edward Belair there in 6th. Corey Crowell in 7th. Josh Bromfield in position number 8 with Rob Tuwiscu and Dom Salvo rounding out our top 10, as this has been our longest green flag run of the day. It's great to see some good green flag laps being laid down. These guys finally doing a great job out there on the racetrack. We've seen a lot of unfortunate, issues here early on in this race. A lot of drivers running into problems and having some issues throughout this race, so we'll have to wait and see if Tyler Humphrey can hang on to it. Obviously, if a lot of these drivers, if the fuel strategy or tire strategy, if it's going to play out for them, and how this race may play out towards the end. Obviously, a 70-lap run at the end of this race. Drivers will have to make potential green flag pit stops if we don't see any late race caution flags. So for a lot of these drivers, having to make those green flag pit stops here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway could be the make or break here on the season for a lot of these guys, man. Could be the make or break here for this evening as Tyler Humphrey, Caleb McKinney. It's getting tight here at the front of the field as McKinney continues to roll that inside lane, continue to look for some big runs, trying to jump up and taking this stage 2 win away from the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey. Obviously for Caleb McKinney, hoping to stretch out his points lead, hoping to gain even more points here over the rest of the field for this regular season championship. But for Caleb McKinney, he's got one more spot to try to claim another stage win, and that would earn himself an extra playoff point as well. For Tyler Humphrey, he needs as many stage wins, extra bonus points for the playoffs that he can. So he's not going to pull over. He's not going to give it up easily, but with the older tires, he may be a sitting duck here late in this race. As here you go, McKinney with another good run down low, but a great exit right there for that 9 ride as Tyler Humphrey able to drag race him down the back straightaway, keep himself out in front as Tony Noble running into some issues here in that 32 ride. Looks like he's going to take that car right down pit road and off of the racetrack as Tony Noble, he's going to send it into corner number 3 right here. This is going to be a big hit for the 32 ride. Take a look at this one. Sends it in, locks it up. Car's not turning. Unfortunately, heavy contact into the outside fence. Pulls it right down into the infield. Looks like he's going to take it right down pit sign here as well as he does take it down pit road. Looks like he's taking it out of this race. As unfortunate break there for Tony Noble. Looks like his day is done. It's Tyler Humphrey Out in front, can Chris Muse, man, Muse is way back here, man. 4-second gap between our top two drivers. So for Tyler Humphrey and Caleb McKinney, they're just pulling away from everybody else. As Muse back here in that third position, Casey Gross in position number 4, Corey Crowell there in 5th. It's Anthony Garland back in 6th with Edward Belair, Rob Tuwiscu, Josh Bromfield, door-to-door beating and banging here for position number 8 on the racetrack. And then we see Dom Salvo still hanging on to the top 10 right now. He's got Brandon Buffenbarger right there on his back bumper. Al Reed, Devin Black, Mike Killingbeck, Billy Jordan. Our top 15 out there on the Speedway, but it is Tyler Humphrey who still has the race lead with only 3 laps left to go here in stage number 2. Is looking to stay clean and green, and they're starting to reel in some lap traffic. That's the 60 rider, Johnny Thunders, potentially the first driver to go a lap down here in this race during the green flag conditions. Obviously front end damage, but it's a tight race back there behind him for the race lead, and it looks like Caleb McKinney may be able to take it away as Johnny Thunder sends up the racetrack. Pounces it off of the outside fence here, just trying to keep himself out of the way of our race leaders. They do put him a lap down, but he is in that free pass position. He's in the lucky dog spot as of right now, as Caleb McKinney does make the move, does take that race lead away late in this stage. It's nice and easy down and out at corner number 3 and 4 for the body armor 76, and it's 1 lap left to go here in stage number 2. Unfortunately for Caleb McKinney, you know, he's got the race lead. He's run away with it, but how much tire did he burn up trying to make that pass on Tyler Humphrey? Humphrey has that extra set of tires back there behind pit wall for the 9 ride. Can he use those late in this race to his advantage as Tyler Humphrey sits back here in second, looking for another second place run here in stage number 1 and 2 for him, but looking for the stage win in both our stages. Sweeping them here this evening, it's Caleb McKinney who will win stage number 1 and 2 here this evening. So McKinney with that stage win. Humphrey in second. Chris Muse will come home in third. Casey Gross and Corey Crowell will round out our top 5 here at stage number 2. Edward Belair back in 6th. Rob Tuwiscu in 7th. Bromfield in 8th with Anthony Garland and Brandon Puffenbarger rounding out the top 10 here in stage number 2 this evening. So our second stage is completed. Our third stage and final stage about to get underway for all of these drivers. What is going to be a very exciting end to this race, and what could be green flag racing out there on the Speedway, as well as we're just over halfway through this feature event. So for all these drivers, they know virtually with that long green flag run that we just saw, they got a really good look at what some of the tire wear will do, what they're going to have to do, where their cars are going to be here late in this race, and how they got to play out this strategy, whether or not, you know, I think we're going to see everyone come down pit road. Everyone's going to put tires on right here, get a full tank of fuel. And then it's going to come down to whether or not we see an abundance of yellow flags throughout this final stage, if someone's able to save enough to make it to the end, or potentially seeing other drivers trying to play some different strategies, trying to make some different moves with some late race caution flags. A lot of guys will want to keep that track position. Other drivers behind them may come down pit side and use an extra set of tires to their advantage, as it does look like everybody will come down pit side. All of our lead lap drivers will make their pit stops, except for the 6th rider, Rob Tuwiscu. Tuwiscu gonna stay out here. This is a bold strategy for the 6th rider. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. As here we go, you do see tires going on everybody's rides here, except for Casey Gross. Looks like Casey not gonna go for the 4 tires here. Doesn't look like Casey goes with any tires. Okay, bold strategy here. Out of the 77 ride, so a no tire pit stop. Not going to take any tires at all. This is going to play out interesting here as he's able to get released. He jumps back out in front. Everyone else getting 4 tires. For Casey Gross, he'll come out second here. Bit of a drag race off pit road. Does look like Caleb McKinney able to hang on to position number 3, though, as they come back out onto the racetrack. So we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing, as Rob Tuwiscu, who was down pit road on lap number 51, will have the race lead here. So he picks up the race lead. He's got the top spot, and for that beautiful Team Chevy RT3 Designs Elite Sim Racing, Landon CNSB, Midland Strungler, number 6, Ryan. He'll get ready to see this green flag fly. He'll get ready to be released and see if he can try to use some of this track position to his advantage here for the final stage of the day. Is out in front, Rob Tuwiscu with the race lead. Ready to see that green flag fly, ready to go back to battle here in this one as the lights are once again turned off. The official iRacing pace car, and as we go back to green flag racing, we are going to jump into our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want you guys right now to crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers here this evening as we crank it up here in New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Alrighty, caution flag going to come back out here. Yellow flag once again. You saw Anthony Garland get up into the outside fence. And as Anthony Garland got up there, I think everyone else just kind of stacks up here out of corner number 2. So let's take a look here at Dom Salvo. Salvo right in behind this number 81 machine. And as you take a look here, you watch 81, loses the rear end, up into the outside fence. Dom Salvo right into him here. You see Al Reed sideways trying to avoid his Salvo back up into the outside fence. Al Reed shoots down the racetrack into that inside fence. You're going to see the 7 Ryan get into the 25. Then you're going to see Luke Wagner. He's going to get into the 7 machine of Devin Black. That'll spin both of them around. You see Grant Humphrey just trying to get through there. Looks like Grant does a great job as everyone else piling into it. Everyone trying to keep themselves out of it here. You see Wayne Garland coming in with a big head of steam right here. Looks like he is just able to avoid that spinning 24 and the checked up race cars, but he does lose the handle of the car himself and ends up into the outside fence there as well. Some more hits, more contact, more carnage here as another restart in another big caution flag, man. Some big hits out there for a lot of these drivers. Be interesting to see how much damage Al Reed ended up taking here in this one as Reed got a great look at it. Obviously, he's trying to keep himself out of it. Unfortunately for the 24, nowhere for him to go, but for Al Reed, does slide down the racetrack, does end up making pretty good contact there with the inside safer barrier out of corner number 2 there. So some good damage for the ZZX Digital Elite Sim Racing number 3 ride. So contact damage and a bunch of tore up race cars as a lot of them come back down pit road looking to get repairs. There's Dom Salvo. We saw Luke Wagner, Rob Tuwiscu, Casey Gross, all down pit road. Now we do see Cameron Combs, Al Reed, Edward Belair, Johnny Thunders, and Devin Black all still down pit side here as well. So maybe some other drivers trying to play some fuel strategy here, as we did see Casey also down pit side and Rob Tuwiscu giving up their front row here, making their way down pit road. What is this going to mean for them, man? Obviously now with fresh tires a little deeper in the field, but really no tire advantage. They're going to have to look for a big rebound here, trying to put themselves back out in front. We'll have to wait and see how this one gets played out as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. As it's going to be interesting. This is going to be fun. Another big restart. Obviously, a bunch of tore up race cars again out there on the speedway. And another restart here for Caleb McKinney and Tyler Humphrey as they continue to hold on to the race lead here. They are still out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done. So we'll get ready to rumble once again and back to the Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, crank up that volume and cheer these drivers on here this evening. Never mind. Caution flag. 12th yellow flag of the evening, man. This is exactly what we figured was going to happen here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This is a track I think that should never be back on the schedule ever again. I think this is a track that should probably be just scrapped. It should just be scrapped here for any future seasons, as it's never... it never seems to put on a good race, man. I don't know. It just seems to always be kind of this way, as we will see another caution flag fly, another restart, and another opportunity for these drivers to duke it out here in this one, as I do believe we're going to see Luke Wagner and Edward Belair here. So I believe Casey Gross going to get into the 8 ride of Luke Wagner right there, and that's where we're going to see this caution flag fly. So everyone gets into corner number 1, and then the 77 just gets in there too far, sends it in deep, gets into the 8 ride, and for the Poor Boy Motorsports, Ryan goes around. You see the 25 Ryan go around as well, and some pretty big contact there for Luke Wagner. Luckily enough, not a lot of contact there for the 25 ride, as this one definitely going to go on to Casey Gross, man. This is a tough hit right there. Casey just trying to get everything he can, trying to make up some ground here, trying to get some track position, and obviously gets in there, gets into the back end of the 8 ride, and that's what spins Luke Wagner around, and caution flag to come back out. So another restart and another opportunity for these drivers to duke it out, to see some more carnage, to see some more mayhem here this evening, as Pool Boy says, "Let's go, Caleb," cheering on Caleb McKinney out there this evening. But it does look like on the restart, Tyler Humphrey was able to take over the race lead. So for Tyler Humphrey, he's got the top spot. He's got that race lead, and he looks to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay as we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing, as McKinney will be back in second. Grayson Hughes there in third. Josh Bromfield in fourth. Corey Crowell going to round out our top 5. Brandon Puffenbarger up and into 6th here. We have seen Puffenbarger do pretty good here at this racetrack. We saw him early on just kind of hanging out at the back. Probably knew that there was going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of mayhem, and just trying to keep himself clean and out of trouble here. But now late in this race, navigating his way up towards the front. We'll see if Puffenbarger can make his way into victory lane again here in the Outcast Racing League. As Nicholas Barton, Mike Killingback, Kurt Sponsler, and Gary Wright round out our top 10 as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. It is Rob Tuiscu, Dom Salvo, Anthony Garland, Luke Wagner, Billy Jordan, our top 15, Edward Belair, Devin Black, Al Reed, Cameron Combs, and Casey Gross there, rounding out our top 20 with Johnny Thunders back in 21st, Grant Humphrey in 22nd, Wayne Garland there in 23rd, Tony Noble off the racetrack back in 24th, and James Garland rounding out the field as here we go back to green flag racing, and again another great restart there for the 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey with a great restart, looking to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay as well. Maybe watch this first lap, see if we can get a lap in here, see if we can get some good green flag laps under our belt before we actually go back into the crank it up here this evening, as drivers head down back into corner number 3 and 4. You see a couple drivers sliding those tires, locking down the brakes, but luckily enough, everyone able to keep themselves pointed in the right direction as we will jump back into our Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers once again here this evening. Alrighty, caution flag going to come back out here in this one as it looked like Gary Wright running into some issues here in the 16 ride. Let's take a look here as they've got some help here. Billy Jordan in the Quantum Motorsports Ryan going to send it in here deep down low. And it looks like he's going to get in too deep. Gets a piece of the 16 Ryan. Gary Wright trying to hang on to it. And unfortunately, finally, the Tito's Ryan goes around and going the wrong direction. Stop there on the racetrack. Caution flag will be displayed. So, yellow flag in the air once again. Another yellow as we're just past 100 laps into this feature event. We'll get them all ready to rock and roll. Ready to go back to battle. But now, potential pit stops here. Drivers could probably come down pit road here and be good to go to the end of this race. We'll have to wait and see if there's any takers. If anyone wants to try to play this strategy and make their way down pit side here on lap 103, lap 104 here this evening.
Radio check. Still on. On the back through the corner. Lane up through the triangle. Not sure why they did that. I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody get to the bottom. Maybe we should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Get out of the gas, slow down. He's got it right in front of me.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Coach your line. It's Kurt Sponsler will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland and Garland leading the way. Show these drivers how to get it done. As the Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as that is going to be the end of our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here this evening. Wrong one. Let's go to that one. There we go. All right, so here we go. Back to green flag racing, just under 50 laps left to go here in this feature event. Here we go, green flag into the air. As quickly, Caleb McKinney back onto loud pedals. We did see a bunch of drivers make their way back down pit road right there. Leading that drivers that came down pit side was Dom Salvo in the 24 ride back down pit road on lap 104. Same with Chris Muse, Corey Crowell, Tyler Humphrey, who's now back in the 8th position. Mike Killingback also down pit road on lap 104. Same with Anthony Garland, Bromfield, Al Reed, and pretty much everybody else out there in the field. So for the top four, they stay out on the speedway, and for Caleb McKinney, Brandon Puffenbarger, Casey Gross, and Billy Jordan, they're hoping that potentially that their good runs, their good racing here this evening, and potentially this pitch strategy plays into their hand and helps them potentially find their way into victory lane. If we stay clean and green from this point on, I believe these guys are probably going to have to make another pit stop. But if we continue to see more and more caution flags, they may not have to make another pit stop here this evening, even for McKinney, who was last down pit road on lap number 82. As the caution flag flies once again, let's take a look back and see what happens. It looks like potentially Anthony Garland, Nicholas Barton, a bunch of these drivers going to get collected in this one, as it does look like Al Reed here going to run into some problems. So for Al Reed, shoots it in down low underneath of a couple of these drivers, gets in there too deep, and fortunately ends up collecting the 81 right of Anthony Garland right there. Nowhere for Anthony to go, as it looks like you see the 12 right actually getting onto the binders here as well. So I'm not sure if Anthony potentially just getting checked up here, trying to avoid potentially what he thought was maybe a spinning number 12. As he's getting onto the binders here, and then you see the 3 right and the 81. They just end up running in and out of room, and that contact to the left rear quarter panel of the 81 machine will spin Anthony Garland sideways. This is where we'll see Nicholas Barton get in here into the driver's side door there of the 81 right as they get tied together. 81 gets stopped on the racetrack, and the caution flag will be displayed. So another yellow flag as we do see Caleb McKinney now down pit road. So McKinney makes his way down pit side. Obviously could not make it on fuel. Now he knows he is good on fuel. Gonna throw a brand new set of tires on. He's gonna have to try to use those to his advantage, as he's gonna have to make up a lot of track position here this evening, as Puffenbarger going to stay out. Same with Casey Gross and Billy Jordan. So they now sit 1, 2, and 3. Dom Salvo into 4th, with Chris Muse rounding out our top 5 out there on the Speedway. As this is gonna get interesting, man. This is going to get fun to see who can try and put themselves into the winning situation here. Obviously, fuel, tires, all of it going to play a factor here this evening in deciphering who could potentially win this race. Maybe coming down pit road during that last caution flag. A lot of these drivers, they should definitely be fine on fuel now. Even if they are having to save a little bit during these yellow flags, they should be good on fuel. The top 3 I'm not 100% sure of. Same with Gary Wright, who was last down pit road on lap 82. He's another driver that may actually have to make another pit stop. But for Caleb McKinney, gives up a ton of track position here. Scored back in that 17th spot on the Speedway. And back here deeper in the field, this is where a lot of the chaos and the mayhem has been unfolding. So for the 76, not only does he get to make up a lot of track position, but he also has to try to keep himself clean and out of trouble here. Getting tied up, getting tore up out there on the Speedway could be the difference maker here in this one to potentially see this caution flag come out. So we'll have to wait and see how this one does get played here today, as we see all these drivers ready to duke it out, ready to go to battle, as they are lined up door to door and headed back down through corner number 4. The pace car will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit road, and here we go down through the Echo Park restart zone. Green flag back out into the air for the number 5 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger, as Puffenbarger gets a great restart, great launch right there, and able to try to hold these guys off, as Casey Gross will jump up into that second position. Look out back there deeper in the field. That's the 49 right of Kurt Sponsler, able to just catch that car, keep it rolling, keep it pointing right in the right direction here. But you see a lot of smoke, a lot of drivers locking things down here, as you see McKinney right there in the thick of it. He's right in the middle of it, as here they are 3 wide in front of him. Can McKinney navigate his way through this traffic and back up towards the front of the field? Shoots it in deep down low right there underneath that 16 right of Gary Wright, looking for a big run on corner exit, trying to hang on to it right here. Man, it is a hornet's nest back here deeper in the field, as Brandon Puffenbarger has the race lead, continue to hold on to the top spot. Casey Gross there in second. Dom Salvo back in position number 3. Chris Muse there in 4th, as Corey Crowell going to round out our top 5 as of right now, as the laps continue to get clicked down, and we're finally getting into a bit of a good green flag run. Maybe we're getting back into the swing of things here. We saw a good green flag run to end off that second stage of the day. Maybe we're getting back into that rhythm. Maybe drivers trying to find themselves, trying to find their groove out here on the Speedway, and as they start to kind of get worked out here a little bit more single file, maybe this is where things get a little bit more interesting, and maybe a long green flag run to finish off this feature event, as you see Tyler Humphrey go for the slide job right there on the 2 right of Corey Crowell. Crowell will give him that spot, will not get back to his rear bumper here. So for Tyler Humphrey, he's navigated his way now into that 5th position. Can he continue to march his way up towards the front, as Dom Salvo looking to try to take position number 2 away from Casey Gross. Casey right there in the mix of it. Same with Chris Muse. We do see Wayne Garland running into some issues deeper in the field. No caution flag as of yet. Is Wayne Garland able to get that car rolling? Let's take a look back, see what happens here. To Wayne. Is Wayne a little deeper in the field here? Just trying to keep this Dark Horse Motorsports ride going the right direction. Gets in there, gets into the back end of the 16 ride. Loses that rear end, trying to save it. Finally does go around. No caution flag for that, but we do see the caution flag end up coming back out here, as it looks like potentially the 3 and the 81 going to get tied together again. Anthony Garland, Al Reed down and out of core number 2. Not sure if Garland kind of coming down the 3 ride coming up, but nonetheless, they're going to run out of track position here, and they're going to make contact, and this is where we're going to see Anthony Garland go back around again here on the Speedway. So here we go. Down through 1 and out at 2. Anthony getting a big run down through the middle. 3 ride kind of shoots back up right here. Unfortunately, that's exactly what's going to happen. So Al Reed comes up the track into the 81 ride of Anthony Garland. That gets Garland sideways, backs it into the outside fence. Car is going to go around, and that's where we're going to see a lot of other drivers trying to avoid him, trying to keep themselves out of it, and they're going to get tied up into it anyways. You see Johnny, the 8 ride here, Luke Wagner, as he tries to jump up and around it here, loses the rear end himself, and then we're going to see the same thing for the 16 as he starts to go around the 22 of Barton, nowhere to go there. He ends up getting collected into that one, gets some contact there for himself as the caution flag does get displayed. So as we were starting to get back into that long green flag run, yellow flag coming back out, going to make things very interesting as we do see a lot of drivers come down pit road right here, including what was our race leaders. Actually, they're going to stay out here for a bunch of them, but a lot coming down pit side, including Belair, Casey Gross, Brandon Puffenbarger, Billy Jordan, Johnny Thunders, Luke Wagner, Grant Humphrey, Gary Wright, Nicholas Barton, all down pit side here. But Dom Salvo, Tyler Humphrey now sit 1 and 2 out there on the Speedway. Chris Muse back into 3rd. Corey Crowell there in 4th. Mike Killingbeck, Josh Bromfield, Cameron Combs, our top 7. Caleb McKinney back in position number 8 with Devin Black and Rob Tuwisku rounding out our top 10. Al Reed, Kurt Sponsler, Brandon Puffenbarger, Anthony Garland, and Casey Gross will round out our top 15 as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. What could be potentially our final pit stops of the day for these drivers. Looks like we are going to get an extended yellow here, so we're going to get another caution lap as we'll get everyone sorted out, everyone pointed back into the right direction and back to where they need to be here in this one. As Randall Barton says, hang in there, 22. Trying to see if that 22 ride can just survive here this evening. He's gotten very, very close to getting tore up quite a few times out there on the Speedway. Luckily enough, he is able to stick with it, able to keep himself in this battle here today. As man, some absolutely great racing, some great battling out here on the Speedway, and everyone's just trying to keep themselves in the hunt here at the front. And so we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Who's going to get it done, man? Who will find the checkered flag here this evening? Who will get the win here at the beautiful New Hampshire Motor Speedway? Lights still on the official iRacing pace car. We will get the extended caution flag, so we'll get another couple laps before we go back to green flag racing. And for a lot of these drivers, man, it's been all about survival. Just keeping yourself here at the front of the field, trying to keep yourself out of problems, out of issues, and trying to find your way into victory lane here this evening. For Tyler Humphrey, Dom Salvo, they're out in front. They've been fairly clean here throughout this race. Do they have what it takes to try to find their way into victory lane here in this one? It's Corey Crowell and Chris Muse bring up row number 2 as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. It's Dom Salvo, Tyler Humphrey, Lights are off, the official iRacing pace car, and as we head down across the line, it will be 120 laps completed, 30 laps left to go here this evening. Who will capture the win here today from New Hampshire Motor Speedway? We're fixing to find out as Dom Salvo with a big restart right there for the 24 ride. Great restart, great launch for the 24 ride, able to clear the 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey as here comes that 2 of Corey Crowell trying to join his teammate Salvo here at the front of the field as Muse slides back into that 4th position, but gets a great run out of core number 2, gets back to the inside here of that number 2 ride, trying to keep himself right here in this mix, right in this battle. As man, some great racing action, man. These guys have been putting on a hell of a show for us here in this one as Corey Crowell and Chris Muse battling door to door. You see Caleb McKinney right here in the mix. He's got Cameron Gomes down to his inside. That's the 70 ride of Mike Killingback right there with him. And then you do see obviously some problems here for a couple of these drivers. Just trying to keep themselves pointed in the right direction, trying to keep themselves rolling as we hear. I do believe that was the 49 of Kurt Sponsler up into the outside fences. Brandon Puffenbarger, Gary Wright, they're trying to battle their way up towards the front. Same with Al Reed and Grant Humphrey. Humphrey obviously serving that penalty early on in this race, got tied up in a few late race issues, and for that 48 ride, he's trying to put himself back into the battle, trying to get himself back into the hunt here towards the front here. As you look back deeper in the field, I do believe that is Casey Gross. Casey running into some issues at a corner number 2 for the 77 ride. Looks like he's going to get loose, maybe get some help here. Let's take a look as and just looks like he gets loose right there. Gets loose, shoots down the racetrack, does bounce it off that fence, but down on the apron, no caution flag. We keep it clean and green for Casey Gross, slides all the way back into the 22nd position here on the Speedways. Tyler Humphrey able to take over the race lead, able to jump out in front. Dom Salvo slides back to 2nd. Corey Crowell there in 3rd. Chris Muse in position number 4, but one of the fastest cats here all evening long. That's 76 of Caleb McKinney into position number 5 here on the Speedway. He's trying to navigate his way back towards the front of the pack here, but he's quickly running out of time. And for that number 9 rider, Tyler Humphrey, isn't enough for him to be able to have this gap, this bit of a lead, and a few drivers in between himself and the 76 to put himself up and in to the winner's circle here this evening. As Dom Salvo, Corey Crowell sit back there in 2nd and 3rd. Caleb McKinney up and into that 4th position for Salvo and Crowell. They're not going to make it easy on the 76. They're not just going to pull over and give them these positions. They're going to try to hang on to a top 3 run here this evening. And for McKinney, he's going to be looking to try to get himself back into the battle for the race win here this evening. And obviously for Tyler Humphrey, not really running away with this one. I thought for certain we'd see the 9 ride just start to pull away here, but it seems like he's just kind of hanging out, biding his time here, maybe trying to balance out these tires between himself and that number 76 of Caleb McKinney. If he can kind of get the tires a little bit more even, a little bit more balanced out, maybe that's what he needs to do here to hang on to the race lead late in this race. Now in front, Tyler Humphrey continue to lead the way here. The laps are clicking down in a quick hurry as Dom Salvo, Corey Crowell sit back there in 2nd and 3rd. The 76 of Caleb McKinney sitting right there in position number 4, waiting for more here this evening as Chris Muse back there in position number 5. As Killing back there in 6th, Josh Bromfield in 7th. See Cameron Combs in that 8th position as Elite Sim Racing teammate Rob Tuiscu right there behind him in position number 9. Devin Black there rounding out our top 10 as Kurt Sponsler, Brandon Puffenbarger, Edward Belair, Gary Wright, Al Reed, our top 15 here on the Speedway. Grant Humphrey, Anthony Garland, Billy Jordan, Johnny Thunders, Casey Gross, Luke Wagner, and Nicholas Barton rounding out our top 22 as Wayne Garland back in 23rd. Tony Noble and James Garland rounding out our field as the caution flag will fly. Look out, it looks like Corey Crowell running into some issues. Crowell turned around, pointed the wrong direction, and for the 2 ride, sitting backwards into the outside fence in corner number 2. And boy, oh boy, that is a tough break here for the 2 ride, battling up inside the top 5. Let's take a look at it as you see Caleb McKinney able to work his way already around the 2 ride. So Crowell falls back into 4th, and it looks like Chris Muse down low, just taking a big run, and then I'm not sure if Muse just gets a little loose there or maybe a little tight, but nonetheless loses the front end, shoots up the racetrack right here, and is going to make contact with this number 2 ride. Let's take a look right here. So Crowell trying to kind of slice back down. The 99, though, does come up and into that left rear quarter panel. And that little bit of nudge, that little bit of contact is all it takes to shoot this 2-car around. As he goes around, he backs it up into the outside fence right there. Pretty sizable contact as well for Corey Crowell, and that is not a very fun spot to be, as the caution flag will come back out there for CC, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as we do see Dom Salvo. Salvo looks to be the one and only driver to head down pit road here so far. We do see Grant Humphrey, Al Reed. They're going to come down pit side here. There's only 20 laps left to go here in this feature event. Some late race pit stops. We'll have to wait and see if that will work out into their favor, as get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who do you guys think is going to get it done here in this one? As Steb definitely a fun one right there. Caution flag number 1000, absolutely, pool boy. Yeah, a lot of caution flags, man, but that's kind of the name of the game here. That's kind of the name of the game here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, man. It seems to be a bit of a wild, wild racetrack. I'm not going to lie. Every time we seem to come here, the caution flags tend to be quite dominant. I'm not going to lie. They tend to be quite a bit of the issues, quite a bit of the problems here. And for a lot of these drivers, those issues, they continue to just kind of compound, continue to kind of keep making things worse and worse and worse for you out there on the speedway. And obviously, late in this race, having a big issue, having a big problem puts you into a bad position. As Pool Boy says 2 green-white checkers, calling it. He says we're going to a little NASCAR Outcast Racing League overtime here this evening. Brother, that is definitely a possibility here this evening. I don't even know what caution flag we're on there. What is that, the 14th yellow flag? Woo! No, 16th. 16th caution flag. My gosh, I gotta get my eyes checked. 16th caution flag. We're almost... Chat, we're almost tying with Pocono. Pocono, I do believe we saw 18 or 19 yellow flags. So we're getting there. We're getting close to it, man. We're getting very close to that Pocono record for yellow flags here in the Outcast Racing League. So we'll have to wait and see if we can get there, if we can beat it or not here. You know, we got to at least beat a record here today, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. The laps continue to get clicked down, and here we go. Down through the Echo Park restart zone. Great restart for Tyler Humphrey. Gets a great launch, a great restart for Tyler Humphrey. Has that race lead, but right there behind him, that is that 76 rider, Caleb McKinney. We've seen these two, 1 and 2 on the speedway for most of this race. They've came home 1 and 2 in both of our stages. For the 76 of Caleb McKinney, he was able to win both stages. Tyler Humphrey came home second in both those stages. But for Tyler Humphrey, he's trying to change the tables here late in the race, though, that the win is much more important than coming home with the stage wins here throughout the race. So leading that final lap is on the mind for the 9 ride, as there was only about 17 laps left to go here in this feature event. McKinney right there in second. Is Bromfield up and into third here. Great run for Josh Bromfield. Is Bromfield there in third. Killingbeck back in position number 4, and Cameron Combs rounding out our top 5 here on the speedway. Rob Tuiscu there in 6 with Devin Black. We saw get tied up in a couple early caution flags. Good rebound as he sits there in 7th. Brandon Puffenbarger in position number 8 with Edward Belair. Kurt Sponsler rounding out our top 10. Casey Gross there in 11th with Gary Wright and Dom Salvo back in position number 12 and 13, as Salvo, who had just come down pit road, just put those fresh tires on. He's hoping to use them to his advantage to see Brandon Puffenbarger up into the outside fence right there for Puffenbarger. Obviously some issues there for him, but you do see the 24 trying to navigate his way back up towards the front of the field. right? Billy Jordan, Chris Muse, our top 15 here on the Speedway. Al Reed, Grant Humphrey, Anthony Garland, Johnny Thunders, and Luke Wagner rounding out our top 20 is a good green flag run here as we get closer and closer to the checkered flag. It is the 9 ride of Tyler Humphrey who sits out in front here. Leads the way, is only 14 laps left to go here in this race, but we saw virtually the same thing here at the end of stage number 2. A longer green flag run towards the end of that stage. Humphrey was leading the way. He had opened up virtually about this gap, and then slowly but surely over the last 5 to 8 laps, we saw that 76 of Caleb McKinney close back into the 9 ride, get back to his rear bumper, and then we saw in the closing laps of that second stage, Caleb McKinney able to easily make that pass, jump back in front of Tyler Humphrey. Is McKinney thinking the same thing here at the end of this race? Is he just kind of playing with this food here, allowing the 9 right of Humphrey to open up a bit of a lead here, waiting patiently to strike later in this race, not wanting to burn up his equipment here till later on, especially with the potential of another caution flag that could fly here late in this race. Another late race yellow flag would bring him right back to the rear bumper of this 9 ride, and for Tyler Humphrey, maybe burning up his tires, building up too much heat in these tires could hurt him here for another late race restart. Is out in front, T. Humphrey with the race lead. McKinney back there in second. Josh Bromfield, Cameron Combs, and Rob Tuwisku, a pair of the Elite Sim Racing rides, trying to work their way up towards the front of the field here late in this race as Combs down low look to make that pass around the 12 right of Josh Bromfield. Looks like Bromfield not going to be able to get back to his outside here, so for Josh Bromfield, he will fall back to 4th as Cameron Combs jumps into position number 3. But for Tyler Humphrey, it is 11 laps left to go here in this feature event. 11 laps left to duke it out here in this one as Tyler Humphrey just trying to keep that gap, trying to keep himself out in front here, hoping to try and keep that 76 of Caleb McKinney back there at bay. As for Tyler Humphrey, back down across the line, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is 10 laps left to go here this evening. 10 laps left to duke it out here in this one as each and every one of these drivers hoping to try to see another caution flag. As much as they've seen so many yellow flags already throughout this race, to see another one, man, is definitely not what they want here in this race. They do not want to see another caution flag, and there it is! The yellow flag will be displayed, so I think for a lot of these guys that were coming on strong late in this race, that caution flag will definitely help them out. But for our race leader, Tyler Humphrey, he did not want to see that yellow flag be displayed, man. He did not want a caution flag, as you can already see the driver running into issues. It is the 25 of Edward Belair here, out of corner number 2. Tight here with Rob Tuwisku, just gets loose underneath Tuwisku, trying to save it, ends up going around right here. As he goes around, you see everyone else trying to avoid him. Devin Black ends up getting back into the outside fence right there, man. Tough break for Devin Black. We talked about how he had rebounded from a couple of early race issues, and then just trying to avoid this 25 Brian coming back up the racetrack. He ends up losing the handle right there himself and ends up hitting that little bit of a break in the wall right there. Ends up with some pretty solid contact and damage for that 7 machine. That is a heartbreaker there for him. So for Devin Black, that's some late race contact and damage that you do not want to deal with, that you do not want to have, and unfortunately that will keep him back here in deep in the field here in this one. So a late race caution flag, our 17th of the afternoon, to make things interesting here as Pool Boy, maybe little NASCAR overtime on the horizon. As Step says, you guys think the race will finish with less than 20 cautions? Yeah, that's a great question right there. I don't know, chat, what do you guys think? Do you guys think under 20 yellows? I mean, if Pool Boy's correct here, if we do see 2 green-white checkers, should be at least 2 more caution flags? I would say we're going back to green flag racing before we officially hit NASCAR overtime. And then that means we would see at least 2 more yellows to go to a second green-white checkered here this evening. So that would bring us to about 19 cautions. So I don't know, man. It's going to be tight. It's going to be interesting. I don't know, man. A lot of yellows, though, man. A lot of yellows, a lot of yellow flag laps here. Luckily enough, here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the yellow flags seem to go by a little bit quicker. They're a little bit faster here. So that's at least one good break for us, that the cautions come out a little bit quicker here in this one. But we'll have to wait and see. As Muscle Love Poodle says, come on, Humphrey boys. Cheering on both the Humphreys here this evening. Obviously, Tyler Humphrey with the race lead. Tyler's hoping to try to hit these restarts, hoping that maybe this is the final restart, and that way he can hold off that 76 ride to kill McKinney. For McKinney, this is another big opportunity for him to try to battle and take this race lead and potentially the race win away from Tyler Humphrey here this evening. If throw Cameron Combs, Josh Bromfield killing back to Iscu, Sponsler, Dom Salvo, who's back there in 7th, right back into the mix here for Dom Salvo. He's the highest running driver right now with those fresh tires. He was down pit road on lap 130, so he does have quite a bit fresher tires than the drivers in front of him. Can he have something left to say here late in this race? As here we go, nice and easy for Tyler Humphrey, is down and into the Echo Park restart zone. He gets another good restart, another great launch there. Jumps onto the loud pedal, able to open up a couple car length lead down into corner number 1. Is everyone gonna be looking to try to find those last couple positions? Will NASCAR overtime be on the horizon, as it's a dogfight back here deeper in the field? 2-3 wide. Everyone able to make it down through corner 1 and 2 as they head them back down into corner number 3. Everyone's just trying to make it through here. Everyone's trying to keep it clean and green. As out in front, it's Tyler Humphrey with the race lead. He's hoping to keep all these drivers back there at bay, as Tyler Humphrey, only 5 laps left to go here in this one. Does he have what it takes to keep himself out in front? Does he have what it takes to keep himself at the front of the field for potentially the race win here this evening? As he's got a couple car lengths still between himself and Caleb McKinney, but there's the caution flag. The yellow flag will be displayed at the same time as Mr. Kyle Larson in the real NASCAR race, and green flag, right front flat tire for Kyle Larson, and this could be the end of his championship dreams here this evening. Looking for championship win number 2 for Kyle Larson, and that caution flag, or that not caution flag, the green flag conditions with that yellow, no yellow. This could be the end of his championship rank right here in this one. But no, there goes Chase Briscoe as well. Briscoe now with the caution, or with a flat tire. Oh my gosh. Briscoe with the flag here as well. He washes up the racetrack. No caution flag from the real NASCAR ranks as well. So we keep it clean and green. And for Chase Briscoe and Kyle Larson, both with green flag yellows here in this championship race. Larson does fall to a lap down. Chase Briscoe will most definitely lose a lap here as well. It may now be between William Byron and Denny Hamlin for the championship. Byron has the race lead. Hamlin back in 5th, about 4 seconds back of Willie B here in this championship race with just under 100 laps left to go there in that one. As we will get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Let's take a look back though at Casey Gross in the 77 ride, as Casey going to run into issues. You see the 77 ride already sideways here. I'm not sure if he has any help or if he just loses the car here as he exits corner number 2. We've seen it already for him, and right here, yeah, it looks like he loses the rear end, trying to save it. Finally, car goes around. You see Luke Wagner in there, gets into it. Corey Crowell tied up into it as well. He gets turned around into corner number 3 here for the 2 ride, as he's trying to avoid this number 77. Unfortunately for Corey Crowell, really not a lot of spots here for him to go. Sam and Muse just going to get tied together. They both end up into the fence. 2 right turned around, and unfortunately, tough break right there for a couple of drivers late in this race. But here we go. Our first attempt here, I do believe this should go to NASCAR overtime, as our 18th caution flag of the day will be a green-white checkered finish here. As there we go, we see Carson Hocevar now with the flat tire, and that is going to bring the caution flag out. So the caution flag in the real NASCAR race now out as well, as Carson Hocevar runs into an issue, gets a flat tire, washes up the racetrack, ends up getting into the outside fence there, and that's what brings the yellow flag out here in this one. As Man, tough break there for Briscoe, tough break for Larson, as both of those drivers will look to try to rebound here after getting those flat tires. No yellow flags for them. They'll look to try to get the wave around or potentially trying to get their lap back, but a lot of track position loss for them. As here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, back to green flag racing here in this one, as the 76 and the 9 rider Tyler Humphrey 1 and 2 on the Speedway. Humphrey is our race leader. He's the control car down through the Echo Park restart zone as the 9 ride gets a great launch once again. That's what he needs. He needs that launch. He needs that restart to build this gap and trying to keep the 76 back there at bay, as you see McKinney really set it in there deep. And for the number 76 looking to track down our race leaders, everyone clean and green down through corner number 1 and 2. They send it back down into 3 for Tyler Humphrey. He has about a lap and a half left to go here as it's tight between them, as out in front, back down and out of corner number 4. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green as the white flag has been displayed. Our final lap here this evening. No double overtime here for these drivers, as Tyler Humphrey down through 1 and out of 2, able to hit his marks, has a couple car length gap between himself and McKinney. For Caleb McKinney, this is his last chance here at trying to win this race. Shoots it deep down low, looking to wash up the racetrack, makes contact there with Tyler Humphrey. Look out, as now here comes Cameron Combs and Bromfield, as Tyler Humphrey able to hang on to it and picks up the checkered flag here this evening in the Coats Disease Awareness 240. It is Tyler Humphrey who picks up the win here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Tyler Humphrey as he picks up the dub. It's Cameron Combs who comes home in second, and Josh Bromfield will come home here in third. What a run, what a drive here as Caleb McKinney shoots it down low. He had one chance, one opportunity, was hoping to make that contact, maybe the bump and run, or maybe trying to just knock that 9 ride looser up the racetrack to open up the door for the slide job himself. Unfortunately, could not make it work. Gets into the door of that 9 ride. Luckily enough for Humphrey, able to hang on to it. Now here comes the 15 with a big head of steam, the 12 ride as well. And for both of those drivers, they are able to get around the 76. There's a tight battle right there. I'm not sure if iRacing has Bromfield in front of this number 76 ride or not, but it was definitely a tight race. And there we go. It is Bromfield able to beat the 76 back down to the line, but it's all Tyler Humphrey. Humphrey picks up the win and parks his car up and into the winner's circle here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Tyler Humphrey as he captures the win here this evening at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We'll get ready to pull Tyler and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews. Post-race interviews coming up next here. We'll get these drivers up and into the booth. Man, what a run, what a drive here for them. Man, let's get Tyler up here into the booth right now. Hey Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Tyler, man, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one. Obviously, tight racing all evening long between you and Caleb McKinney. Obviously, late in this one, some pitch strategy. You get out in front, and then late in this one, some late race caution flags. You got to hold that 76 right back there at bay, and even with that last lap contact, you're able to hang on to it and beat McKinney back down across the line to park this 9 ride up and into victory lane here this evening, man. Take us back through it and what's going through your mind here in this one.
Well, that was a wild finish, I gotta say. I know Caleb was super apologetic. I don't think he was trying to do that. I kind of thought he was gonna come in a little hot, and I was like, okay. So I was pretty prepared, and I mean, heck, I mean that was a great race. So no hard feelings there. I'm just glad we were able to. I know it was a caution fest, and I'm glad we were able to put on a little bit of a show right there coming to the checkered flag. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's just, that was an awesome race. I think this has to be one of the top wins that I've got so far. I mean, that was just amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, tight racing, difficult racetrack, and things come right down to the wire. Here in this one with a NASCAR overtime, a green-white checkered, and you're able to hang on to it there after contact between you and McKinney to park this Muscle-Up Poodles up and into the New Hampshire Motor Speedway victory lane here this evening. Tyler, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great race out there on the Speedway?
Yeah, all the viewers, my family that's watching. It's my little brother's birthday, William. So happy birthday, William. Got this one done for you, dude. Yeah, Muscle Poodles, Landesco, the Bar Distillery. Oh gosh, there's so many of them out there. Isabel's Impact, just everybody that's on this car every week. It's awesome. I feel like we're getting stronger and stronger. Having a twin, I mean, man, they make you work hard, I swear.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely do. And for Grant, he's able to come home in 8th here this evening. So a win and an 8th place finish here for the Humphreys this evening. Tyler, congratulations on the win here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And we can't wait to see you guys back in action next Sunday afternoon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Aaron. Your broadcasts are amazing. I'm super excited to go back and watch this one. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Tyler Humphreys. He picks up the checkered flag here this evening as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the 15 of Cameron Combs.
Back.
Hey, Cameron, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Yeah, I got you.
Cameron, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive here in this one, man, as you're able to battle back from obviously early on, a lap down after having to serve that black flag penalty and hold down pit side during the green flag action. You're able to get that lap back quickly. You get back on a lead lap. You race your way up. You earn some stage points. And then you run into some issues there. Get tied up in a couple of those caution flags. But here you are late in the race, just making some moves, putting yourself in the right place at the right time. And you're able to navigate your way up and in to position number 2 here this evening. Obviously, a blessed second. It was going to be a battle there for third for you. But obviously, Caleb McKinney making that last-ditch effort to try to steal this win away from Tyler Humphrey opens up the door for you and Bromfield to jump up into second and third. Take us back through this one, man, and what's going through your mind?
Yeah, this race was probably the toughest one I've had. I mean, I put down some good laps in practice qualifying. I think I started 5th or 6th. But then having to serve that pit road penalty, and I don't know, the car just didn't drive at all like it did during practice, so I was kind of behind the 8 ball there most of the race. But yeah, the one restart I accidentally downshifted down into second, and that ended up throwing me into the wall and gave me wheel damage. So I spent like probably 20 laps trying to get that fixed, 30 laps trying to get that fixed. So, but yeah, to get back up here and get a second place, it's definitely pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely pretty nice. Definitely a solid day here and a great rebound for what could have been a tough race. Could have been an early exit or just a bad run points-wise. You're able to maximize pretty much everything you could out of that 15 ride as you park it up here on the podium. Cameron, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
So I just got to thank all the admins that helped put this on. Thank you for broadcasting, everybody that's making this happen.
Well, Cameron, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening, brother. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Sunday afternoon and hopefully see you right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still trying to get that 14th win, so we're going to try to get back up here next week.
Alrighty, man. Well, we'll look forward to it and can't wait to see you break that record here for the most wins in the Outcast Racing League.
Definitely.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Cameron Combs as he comes home in position number 2 as we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher, Josh Bromfield. Hey, Josh, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad, Josh. Solid run, solid drive all evening long for this 12 ride. Keeping it clean, keeping it out of trouble, and here you are getting paid off late in this race with a tight battle back to the line there to steal position number 3 away from McKinney here in this one. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind after what was a fairly chaotic race, but for yourself, just a pretty nice, easy Sunday drive for the 12 ride?
Yeah, I just, before the race started, I knew it was going to be some cautions and just wanted to try to keep it clean, stay out of the trouble, save some tires for the end of the race, and put some Yoo-hoo in my gas tank to make it go faster. And I got lucky there at the end. Tyler and Caleb got together. Me and Cam was kind of racing pretty close, which I enjoy racing with Cam. He's a very clean driver, so it was fun. And then just able to squeeze it out there at the end and get a third place finish, getting close to the playoffs, and trying to right there on the cut line. So every little point helps.
Absolutely. Every little point helps, every position that much better for your chances of advancing into the playoffs, man. As another solid run, another solid drive for yourself here tonight, Josh. I know everyone's excited to get back and watching the real-life NASCAR race of the championship. Only about 60, 70 laps away from being completed there in the NASCAR season. So, Josh, who would you like to thank here tonight for such a great run and great drive here this evening?
Yeah, so I'd like to thank Outcast Racing League for putting on a great series. I'd like to thank my team, Poor Boy Motorsports. It's a group effort. Everybody puts in their 2 cents, and we all use it and try to come out and have a good race. And appreciate you for putting on a good broadcast.
Absolutely, brother. It's always my pleasure to be up here in the booth and be able to watch you guys duke it out here on a Sunday afternoon. Josh, congrats on the third place run, and we hope to see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next Sunday.
Thank you.
You'll enjoy the rest of your night, brother.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Josh Bromfield. Bromfield comes home here in third, man, after what was a heck of a run and a heck of a drive here this evening. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here tonight from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. As an absolutely crazy race. A lot of yellow flags, but a lot of great battling out there on the speedways. These drivers put on a heck of a show for us here this evening, and it's Tyler Humphrey who captures the victory here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the Outcast Racing League. Race number, I do believe this is race number 8 on the season. Now 8 races completed now on this season as the Coats Disease Awareness Ride 240 comes to a close here this evening, man. Shout out there to Coats Disease Awareness coming on board as the sponsor for this race. Make sure you guys check them out over on their website. And I'm not sure what the website is, but make sure you guys check them out. If anyone knows it, drop it into the comment section for us. But unfortunately, that's going to do it for us here in this one, man. We can't thank y'all enough for tuning in. We can't thank you guys enough for showing the love here in this one. And we'll catch y'all back here next Sunday. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back up in the booth tomorrow night, though, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow as well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family right now here today. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank y'all for tuning in. Catch you on the next one. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Run the back through the corner, lane up through the trial. Not sure why they did that. I don't know the plan. 88 was screaming everybody get to the bottom. I think we should just run all out and wait till after the fourth pit. Get out of the gas, slow down. Somebody split up right in front of me.
Here comes that number 15 of Cameron Combs. Combs are working with his current sponsor. Sponsor will pick up stage win. Mr. Garland, as Garland leads the way, showing these drivers how to get it done.